Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit here, back again for Steins episode 6 now. A lot of revelations and stuff like that went on last episode. With the idea, I think Suzu is a time traveler. There's so many things that just obviously point to it. She knows apparent things that are supposed to happen with Kirisu and whatnot. And like, you know, it's like she pops up. The biggest thing I remember is from when she was on the rooftop, or when Okabe went up to the rooftop and there was a crashed satellite. There was one person there who was just like kind of waving or whatever. I'm pretty sure that person was a girl, had braids, which is what Suzu does. So yeah, we'll have to see. And also, yeah, the whole thing with the eventually got through with the IBN and whatnot, and made some interesting discoveries. So yeah, I feel like we're getting into the real meat of a lot of stuff now. So it's getting really interesting. So without further ado, we're just going to move on to episode 6. Let's go. Yeah, I'm interested about this one. I'm interested about this girl, because I don't understand what she would I don't understand what she has to do with this.
Can we have a moment of your time? You're here to get a look at the satellite, I assume, yes? Could you tell our viewers at home where you've traveled from?
Butterfly effects divergence.
Wow, I was just on the old lunch break, you know? You should have come around earlier. It would have been a party.
I propose we do this again tomorrow, all of us. Ocarines treat.
Cool, the gang's all here.
Well rested, I trust?
Don't start with that crap again.
What do you know? What do you know, Suzu?
Hey, I hate to break up your meeting, but your lunch break ended 5 minutes ago.
Hey, but what do you mean by perfecting it, though? I mean, we already sent text back in time. What else do you
True,
think?
but in point of fact, we've only done so twice. Flying blind, I might add. No, we have to look for patterns.
Well,
Eureka!
Flash of inspiration?
No, it's just that mail from the past is too inelegant. If we expect to be inspired, we must first christen the phenomenon with a decent name.
How about cart before the horse?
Not helpful.
What about Steins
Continue
Gate?
to mock me, and my wrath shall hammer
Please,
down
you get
upon.
sidetracked thinking up a name for a screwdriver.
Excuse me? Prepare to eat your words, naysayer. I've already plucked a name for the facts in question as if from thin air. We shall call it Kiyoma's Nostalgia Drive.
Great.
Say we have a show of hands. Who here's good with Kiyoma's Nostalgia Drive?
Oh, come on, neither of you?
Sorry, I agree with her. It's not a bad name, but even when you don't use the letters, it makes me think of a charity.
yeah, sides, Kiyoma, nice try.
Since it goes against the flow of time, why not call it contrary mail?
I don't get it.
You have a lot to learn about cute.
Why are we arguing when it should clearly be the mail that leapt through time?
Because we're not entering it into a film festival.
Now you're being a brat.
At least my idea doesn't make you want to order a bucket of chicken wings.
Balance, man. We need romance and concision.
Then I'll squish it to Time Leaper.
Except that now we don't know what's leaping, do we? Maybe we could work banana in there somewhere.
Da-da-doo! Ha! Just wait till you get a load of this one. We call it Flux Mail Capacitor.
Are we implying that it runs on plutonium now?
Ooh, DeLorean mail.
That doesn't make sense.
Close enough. Suggest we shorten it to D-mail.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thanks to my genius, however, we're not shooting in the dark. You, dear cohorts, have overlooked the simplest yet most crucial condition involved. To wit, time. Mayuri, banana me.
Oh, we're running kind of low on the test subjects.
We could just use something else, couldn't we?
Maybe a cucumber.
Ack, this is hardly the time. No, the effect on bananas classifies as a known, so if you'd be so good as to insert what we have left.
Insert.
Oh, grow up. I swear. I'm sorry, sweetie. Look, I promise to buy you some more as soon as we're done here.
Oh, really? These two guys never buy me anything. It's gonna be awesome having you around the lab, I can tell. Ow!
Oh,
Please, enough with the showboating.
Shut up.
Leave my friend alone, ouchies.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Put away the T set,
Oh,
Princess
jeez.
Ow. There's work to do. Send me a text.
Okay.
I am a genius.
Nice job, Okabe. I was kind of inclined to doubt you at first, but
Forgive it. It's quite enough to see that you are appropriately awed by my intellect.
whatever. Did you...
5 days ago, to be exact.
Yeah, but there's two. Did you send another one?
Just the one. Interesting. It's been split up.
I'm not familiar with this vernacular.
Why would that happen?
In America, it's a compliment.
You know, now that I think about it, your D-mail to me the other day was all broken up too. Part of it was cut off, as a matter of fact. And, of course, it popped up 5 days earlier.
Is it getting to him a bit?
My God. Mayuri's knee-deep in on this too. Why on earth did I tell her? Well, if it isn't my old pen pal, Shining Finger. Yes, hi. What is wrong with you? I'm right here.
Where's your phone?
Who's this spank-worthy, I mean, totally respectable young meat space angel with a knockout ass in front of
How
me?
rude of me, Daru. Meet Kiryu Moeka, aka Shining Finger.
Hello there, my lovely lady.
Yo, check it! You party people bringing the ruckus or what?
In a manner of speaking, our researchers will indeed bring, as you say, the...
Yeah, that's real crunk and all, but Papa Baldcap is seriously pissed off at you guys. Said the vibrations from your floor are giving him migraines. Is Makase Kurisu still up there?
She is, but I don't understand what that could possibly mean to you. Why are you giving her the evil eye? What happened in your past?
Nothing happened in the past.
But in the future.
I see it now.
Don't know what you're doing up there, and I don't want to know. But if it involves an elephant, you're in breach of your lease.
Well, you'll be vexed no more today.
Uh,
Why aren't you stopping? Did I or did I not give you orders to desist?
Hey, I told them to. She's the one who kept on.
I sent you another one. Did it go through?
How am I supposed to know?
You realize you're preoccupied, but if you think it's important, I gleaned enough data to work up a rough sketch of how D-mail works.
What?
I've calculated that 1 second on the timer equals an hour in reality, moving upstream to the flow of linear time. That means a minute 30 translates to 5 days.
Pretty balls out she locked on to how to control the distance that text travels back, huh?
That's not such a big deal if you don't have to send anything really large back in time. Hey, maybe it's hard because of the whole car black hole
I
thing.
think you mean Kerr black hole.
That's it. A Kerr black hole is too tight to let big stuff through.
Maybe it just needs a little, practice.
Will you knock it off?
August 2nd, 2010 is now a date that will live in the hearts of mankind forever. On this day, the Future Gadget Laboratory breathed new life into a dream as old as the hills. For we have bridal time!
Ocarine, I'm super proud of what we've all accomplished here.
Aww. He probably just doesn't want Myra to get involved. Too much shit going on.
Where am I?
Don't panic. You're not the one moving. Time and space have switched places here.
So this is an event horizon.
Space can no longer be moved through. And time as you understand it ceases to exist. 1 second to you, for me, stretches out past the horizon line of what is real.
Are you saying that space has fallen away? That time has no part of it?
Eternity isn't infinite. Reality has a beginning and an end.
If that's true, where does that leave me?
Move forward. Look over the edge.
You're on my last nerve. For crying out loud, get a life. Sorry about yesterday. need to drop by and talk to you soon. Does it not occur to you that people sleep? What?
Seems that the subtitles I want to put on it for the messages don't pop up where they should do.
Seriously? I'm right here. Why won't you speak?
It's just easier sending texts. I came here to, well, you know, see the IBN.
Feel free, but beware. Photograph my face and you'll leave me no choice but to silence. You expect me to let you borrow it? And help you haul it? What part of look only do you fail to comprehend, my dear?
May I please, borrow it?
I'm afraid you're out of luck.
Why would she need it?
I myself only have it on loan for an interval from a trusted friend.
Some serious tweakage is needed if we're gonna make sending mail to the past user-friendly, am I right?
Damn it, wish I could read it.
Yes, you misheard him. He didn't say sending mail to the past. He said kending airfols du Krieg clast. Ancient Sumerian, you see. Yes, roughly translated it means...
Good morning, Ocarine. Mind if I heat up my chicken tenders before you start your time travel experiment?
Ah, they're all
Everyone,
coming.
I think I had an aha moment about the time machine last night.
It's just...
Is it true?
FB? Very well. Kirio Moeka. As of this moment, I christen you lab member 005.
Okay, well, great. I wish... Clearly, you know what I mean, I have access to two different types of subtitles. I have the one that obviously is the Japanese translated, so if you want to watch it dubbed, you can watch it with the subtitles. And then there's a second one which is supposed to bring up like the details in the phone and stuff. Now I tried to do that here, clearly it's not working. So from now on I'm just gonna have to put on the Japanese like subtitles things, because that's the only way it's gonna work. So yeah, great. Hopefully there was no information missed. I'll go back through, like, you know, in my own time, just seeing, making sure. But yes, so obviously Suzu began to work there on purpose so that she was in the vicinity of Okabe and whatnot, and all of this shit going on. Because obviously she knows a hell of a lot. The thing that is interesting me is the banana bit, like going back to just where it was. Whereas with the human experiments done in CERN, the humans went to elsewhere. There's like no discernible exit point. Like, why would like somebody like Linda, like why would she end up in India? You know what I mean? Like, where would the exit point be? Like, what is it? Because it just seems like with the it's with the banana, it's a different type of time travel. It's like it's going back to where it originally was, you know? But with humans, that's not what happens. Like, it's not like we're just rewinding. It's not like a rewinding time and you're going with it and then you just end up like back there, you know what I mean? So I don't know, like, if they're clearly, you know what I mean, trying to send people through time, why they why they end up in these different places. Like, what is it that makes these people end up in those places? Like, what do they have to do in order to do that? Unless they actually have been, like, unless they actually were there at one point. Like, was Linda somebody who had been in India before? In a back street at some point? If the first guy, the one who was, like, merged in the wall, right? Could he have been there at some point in the past where there wasn't a wall there, and that's why he was stuck in it? Because it just seems like the banana works differently to what those people do. Because while they both have the green sort of ooze thing going on, the difference would be that the banana went back to where it was beforehand. But the people didn't. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Moeka is definitely weird. She just has this idea. It's easier to text. I guess she struggles with emotion, but like she sends emojis and things like that. So clearly she gets like emotional about stuff, but she never shows it, which is interesting. She doesn't like cameras. Oh well, she doesn't like. I guess she doesn't like people taking pictures of her. Like, I don't know. I guess not. Damn it. So 1 second in the microwave is an hour in reality. That's what they said. Right. Okay. You know, right, back to the thing of like the banana just going back to where it was. Like it goes into like a state that it was previously in. That's why it attaches back to the group, to the bunch of bananas, right? But a human would not, like, you wouldn't go back to a state of what you were back then, right? Like, I feel like it's not that at all. I don't think it's anything to do with, like, if they were to go back 20 years, they wouldn't be like 20 years younger, would they? They would just be themselves. That's why that whole thing of John Titor saying, like, you have to meet yourself kind of thing. So you clearly don't go back in time and, like, take over, like, you know, your 20-year-old self or whatever. You know what I mean? If you're 40 years old and you went back 20 years, you wouldn't be 20 years old. You'd be 40 years old in that world. You know what I mean? So I don't know why the banana goes back to its original state, where it was once before. Unless there's a clear, distinct difference between, like, humans and objects going back in time. Like, an object would just go back to what it previously once was, while as a human would go back to a different time in a different place. So hard to figure out. Yeah, they talked about the event horizon and stuff like that, and I love the idea of an event horizon. It's great. Like, I was watching like something. I was watching like a documentary like ages ago, and they explained it. And like the idea is that like if you were watching somebody fall into a black hole, like they would get to a point where you would just see them stop in time. Like they would just like it would be like if you had an image of somebody, but then you cropped out everything in the background, and you just had the image of the person and nothing else around it, and then you just placed it like, you know, with obviously with there being no background, you could place it wherever you want. It would just be a still image. Like, that's what it would be like if you watch somebody fall beyond that point. Like, because there's no light. Like, light doesn't allow to escape it. So without light, obviously you can't see. And it's just mad to think that, like, once you reach that point, that, like, there would be a still image, and then they would be stuck there gradually, and then gradually they would literally fade. Like, it would be mental to see something like that. But I think the idea of, like, so clearly the thing is with this is that by going back in time and stuff, it is using a black hole. Right? Or is it like transferring energy through like aluminium, whatever, is what they said. But like, you know, I'm pretty sure that it's the black hole thing, right? I mean, people like to, you know, people have talked about things about, like, you know, if you wanted to traverse like the universe, like at the speed of light, then in order to do that, you would have to go to a place where there is no light. Like, you would have to go through a black hole in order to do it. And you know, when people explain it, they basically say, sort of like, hold on, forget this stuff. So people explain it like, you know, if this is where, fuck's sake, I mean, this is just stupid. I think I explained it right. Like, so if we are here in this circle, right, and we want to get to there, which is on the other side of the universe, instead of moving like along, instead the idea is to do that, right, and just sort of get through the fucking middle, and you're literally right there. That's the idea. So, you know, instead of going along, you just kind of take out the whole middle journey, and you just go straight through it, through black holes and shit. It's mental. It's crazy, because, like, you kind of just, well, how the fuck would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, it honestly breaks people's brains, and it's fucking breaking mine. Because there's just so much that would have to go into that to ever even think about. Like, you know what I mean? And that's not even time travel. That's just like trying to get from one place to another in the shortest time possible. However, I think time travel works like sort of without that. You know what I mean? When you're thinking about black holes, trying to get from one place to another, to obviously to move faster than the speed of light can. So technically, you know what I mean? Time is obviously a man-made thing. However, it's evolved with light. The idea that, you know what I mean, if the sun exploded, right, or the sun went out, and, you know, it would take, I think they said, about 8.5 minutes before we would even ever notice, because that's the speed of light. How long it takes the sun's light to reach Earth is about 8.5 minutes. So if it was to just go out and just go black, we would not know until 8.5 minutes later, which is insane and very scary, to be honest. And you know, humans like figured out that time is something that we use just to keep track of basically how like it basically all comes down to light. And I think people think this. I think scientists basically put it down to the idea of time is, you know what I mean, if you were ever to even like think about like time traveling and things like that, then you would have to go faster than the speed of light could ever reach it, because, you know what I mean, if you're thinking about what that is, and you're just trying to travel from one space to another faster than the speed of light, then that's just trying to travel from one space to like another, almost like distance as opposed to relative like time. Whereas time is different. If we're talking about time travel, you go back in time, right? You can go back in time, or you can go forward in time. But forward in time seems a lot more plausible because, well, light is forever moving, like, away from itself. It's never, like, collapsing in, you know? So to go back in time, you would... To go back in time, you would have to go forward in order to go back. I think that's how it would work. Because, you know, you would have to go beyond where light has reached, right? And then get back before the light ever reached that point, right? It sounds so stupid. Honestly, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like because our minds just, like, to be able to comprehend something that far is ridiculous. It's so stupid. You know what I mean? Because to us, light is instantaneous. How do you go faster than instant? You know what I mean? You can't. And I think the idea is, you know, with trying to go ahead of light, in order to go forward in time, you have to go past the point that light could reach you. So technically, if you were time traveling, you would, for a bit, be in complete blackness. I think. You would have to be. But I think you'd have to go forward in time in order to go backwards. Because you'd have to go beyond the, like... See, because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I think there was one thing I was watching, I can't remember what it was, but like somebody said if you put a mirror, like the far like out of reaches of space, if you were to put a massive huge fucking mirror so it reflects back, right? And you took a telescope and you looked at the telescope at the mirror back at Earth, that you would be seeing something that could possibly have happened like years ago. You know? And that's why I say that you probably have to go forward in time in order to go back, because you have to reach beyond the speed of light. You know? However, in order to even see the mirror, the light would have already had to reach it though, wouldn't it? It's ridiculous. Oh no, actually no, you wouldn't, because, oh god, I have no idea. It's just breaking my brain. I'm just trying to think, like, because if you were looking, if the mirror was beyond where the light had reached, would you be able to see the mirror? Like, would you be able to look at that mirror and then see something back at yourself, even if the light hadn't already reached the mirror? Because I thought the reflective nature of something is because light can bounce off it and bounce back at you. I think that's the reason why, right? So in order for the mirror to work, light would have to have hit it. But the idea, I think, is that light is supposed to bounce off things. Like, you know, light essentially enters our eyes and then bounces off of everything and all. That's the reason why you can see these objects, is because light is bouncing off of them at stupid speeds. A speed that we can't comprehend. Which is why the idea of time travel is, you know, so far out of reach, if ever gonna happen. Because are we really that, like... Are we really that advanced, like, as a species to be able to pull that off? I mean, we're smart, and we can be very smart. The things that we've created is insane, but that is next level shit. So, I don't know. It's very... It's very just far out of the reaches of, like, the realm of fucking comprehensibility, like, if that's even a word. To comprehend something that fast is too ridiculous. And that's why it's that's why I'm like so like confused trying to fucking theorize this, because I don't know how, you know, I don't know how essentially how it's really working yet. But I trust the show to eventually tell me and get to that point. So I'm sure I'll be alright. Sure I'll be alright. But yeah, that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.